Alright guys, welcome back, and in this video, as promised, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create basic animations. So before we begin, just want to mention that I already imported everything that I needed to. So if you want to pause the video and copy this, feel free, or go to my forum and just copy it, whatever. But now that that's taken care of, check this out. Now you guys already know what an animation is. It's essentially just a series of images, and when you play them right after each other, it looks like movement. So you see how these images are actually slightly different from another? If we were to take these and play them right after each other real quick, it's going to look like this guy's gun is backfiring. You see the bullets like small, then it gets bigger, and then even bigger, then this like charged thing is coming from his gun. Since these images are slightly different, played after another real quick, it looks like movement. Alright, nothing new there. So now we have to figure out how to take these images and turn them into an animation. So you're probably thinking, alright, gonna go in here and what can we do? We could probably make a loop, and then with each iteration we can just draw the next image. Well, that is a good idea, and that's what a lot of people do whenever they develop games. However, LibGDX comes with a bunch of built-in tools to make animation really simple. Now, in order to use these tools, you first need to create an animation atlas. What the heck is that? Well, anytime you have a bunch of similar images, for example, images used in an animation, or if you're making like a 2D game like Pokemon, or you remember like the old Warcrafts, like Warcraft 1, where you just have a 2D game and a 2D map. Anytime you have a group of images that are related in some way, what you do is you group them together in an image or a texture atlas. And this is just a way to tell LibGDX in your framework these images are related. So you can just like do something like make a loop. However, whenever you group them with an image atlas, it not only makes animations really easy, but it helps out with performance a lot. Cool, sounds pretty awesome. So how to create this image atlas thing? I know we're probably gonna like go to Photoshop and start dragging all this crap together, and then we need to do something stupid. It's gonna be annoying. Well, check this out. There's actually a tool online, and this is what everyone uses when they're working with LibGDX atlases. So go to this URL, and once you're there, click this texture packer. It's the very first one, GDX-texture packer, and just download this. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you a zip file. And is it done yet? Alright, there we go. So I'm going to double click this and extract it. And it is extracting. Sweet. Alright, so double click the file, and inside here you're going to have a jar file. Now this is essentially just a Java program, and let me clean all this up. Alright, so what this program is a really simple and easy way to take a list of images, and it makes the atlas for you. So pretty awesome. So how you use it is you just click new pack, and what do you want the name of your pack to be? Just name it shooter, and this is just pretty much a group of images. It doesn't really matter what you name it. Now the input directory is, it's asking, alright, you want me to group together a bunch of images, what folder are they in? So mine are in TNB Extra, Shooter Dude, and again this is just the directory it's looking at. This is the Shooter Dude directory. So that's what I'm giving it whenever I hit open. Now for the output directory, it's going to say, okay, I'm going to make this atlas for you. Where you want me to stick it when I'm done with it? And the output directory is just in your Android project. If you go to Android and then you go to assets, just highlight assets and hit open, and it'll select that for you. Now the last thing you need is a file name, and I'm just going to name mine shooter. Looking good. Now if you hit pack them all, packing everything together, done. How quick was that? How stinking easy was that? So you're going to hit close, and ladies and gentlemen, you now have a group of images or an image atlas in your program. And if you want to scroll and check them out, you can actually look what the atlas looks like. Again, it's just a bunch of information, and this pretty much is just, you actually don't even need to worry about this because well, that's like the point of the tool, to take care of all the behind the scenes stuff. But it's a file that has a bunch of information about a group of images. So, you know, if you ever really felt like looking at it, you can. But the cool thing, like I said, really don't need to worry about that. That was what the tool is for. Alright, now in your code, let me go ahead and show you guys how easy this is. So we're going to declare 3 variables. The first one needs to be a reference to the texture atlas, and you guys already know what that is. Just talked about it. Now the next thing is going to store the animation data, essentially saying what images do we want to use for the frames and how long they're going to last for. Do you want your image to appear slow, fast, whatever, all that good stuff. And I'm just going to name mine animation. And the last thing we need is a variable called time passed. Now how your animation is going to work is this. We need to throw in the time passed so the animation knows where it is in the sequence. Now we don't even need to get or make any calculations to figure out how much time passed. It's all built in for you, and I know that this is kind of weird, but it's just how animations work in LibGDX. So I'll show you guys how easy this is if it sounds confusing right now. But anyways, those are the 3 objects that we need. So now in Create, let's go ahead and initialize first Shooter Atlas. And remember, this was just equal to your atlas itself. So you set this equal to a new texture atlas, and then for GDX, you pretty much say where the file is. Where's the atlas that you just created? So in Files, Internal, you just give the string, and ours is called shooter.atlas. Alright, looking good. So again, this is just saying in my files, look for a file called shooter.atlas, and that is the treasure that you're looking for. Simple enough. So now that we have a reference to the atlas, what we need to do is we need to start making the animation. So set this equal to new animation, and the first parameter it takes is how long do you want to play these frames for. Now we have 6 different images as our frames, so we can have one of those images last an entire second. Most of the time you have about 30 frames a second. In other words, 30 different images every single second. So what you do for that is you would put 1 over 30 F, and I'll talk to you guys in just a second what's going on. But for the next one, the other part of your animation is what images do you want me to play. So again, that's all an animation is, a list of images playing for a certain duration, one after another. Now our list of images, how convenient, they're actually in Shooter Atlas, and if you hit get regions, what it's going to do is it's going to get all of the locations for you. And again, remember when I showed you guys that atlas file, there are other pieces of information in there like coordinates and stuff like that. We don't need to worry about that because this is going to pick out everything for you exactly where it needs to be and return a list of images. So these are the images, and this is the duration that they play for. Now here's the thing, with 30 frames a second right now, that's pretty good whenever you're making games. However, remember, I'm on a screen recorder making YouTube tutorials, and also I'm going to be recording my phone, which is a weird, I actually don't even know what bitrate or frame rate that's going to appear at. So I'm going to play my animation really slow, like maybe 1 out of 10. In 10 images, or in other words, your image is going to change 10 times every second. It sounds fast, but if you're looking at it in real life, it might look kind of choppy. And if this is actually displaying too fast on YouTube for all my like screen recorder crap, I'll have to slow it down even more. Actually, let me just go ahead and play like 3 images a second. And if that looks bad, then I'm just buying a new screen recorder. Anyways, now that we got everything set up, what I want to do is I'm going to go to Shooter Atlas and Dispose, because once we're done with it, we can free up the memory. Looking good. And let me clear the screen. White right now. Good enough. Alright. Do I want to change the color? Let me just change it. Actually, let me change it to like green. So for that, I just want to show you guys that you can indeed have something other than white. So the red is 0, green is 1, which is essentially 100%, and blue is 0 too. Alright. So in between here, remember, the first thing that we need to get is the time that passed since our animation began. So that way, whenever this is playing the animation behind the scenes, it knows exactly where it is in the sequence. It knows what image to use. So for the time passed, all we do is this. You would think, alright, have to get some variable, subtract it from another variable, and then we might need to convert it to like a time for Java. That's a pain in the butt. All you do is this. GDX, graphics, get delta time, boom, roasted. And by the way, working with time on computers in general is a pain in the butt. So thank you, whoever made these methods, because save me a bunch of time. How ironic. Alright, so the last thing we have to do is actually draw this or display on the screen. So batch, draw. What are you trying to draw? Well, we're trying to draw the animation. Now remember, each time we draw, we just want to get one image, one keyframe. And what we do is we pass in time passed and true. Now true is going to tell your animation to loop. So without this, it wouldn't play one after another. So this is just going to continuously loop until we close out of the app. Now the other two parameters, of course, are just the coordinates. I'll put like, let's put it, I don't know, like 300, 500. Good enough. So yeah, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and see if this works. Alright, so there's my little green dude shooting his gun. Well, he's not green, but the background is green. And yeah, hopefully you guys can see that. And it will probably display better on a white background, but you guys get the idea, and I'm kind of digging this green background. It reminds me of the Ninja Turtles. But anyways, there you go. That is the basics of how to create an animation in LibGDX. Hope you guys loved it. I'll see you next time.